Greetings children, this video will teach you the poetic devices used in the poem A Thing of Beauty. This is for class 12 students. What we are going to look in this video is the literary devices of a rhyme scheme, alliteration, assonance, metaphor, antithesis, anaphora, oxymoron, transferred epithet, inversion, imagery, and the other poetic devices used in A Thing of Beauty. This will help you to solve the MCQs related with A Thing of Beauty, written by John Keats. Let us learn all these literary devices, or we can say that poetic devices or figure of speech. Don't forget to remember these synonyms for these poetic devices or figure of speech or literary devices. All these mean same thing. First, let us check the rhyme scheme of the poem, A Thing of Beauty. What is rhyme scheme? A repetition of the same sound at the end of each line. You have to check the end of each line. Then you can find the rhyme scheme of a poem. Look at the colored ending sounds of each line. You can see the repetition of sounds in each line. Look at the first line. Here, one sound is repeated. Forever and never, So we can represent it with the first alphabet, AA. Here, B, B. C, C. D, D. So the rhyme scheme of the poem is AA, BB, CC, DD. And another thing we have to notice here is it is rhyming couplet. Couplet means two lines. Two lines rhymed in the same pattern. Repetition of the same sound in the second line also. So rhyming couplet is the device used here. Look at here. In the next, the same repetition goes on till the end. Now let us move on to the next poetic device, that is alliteration. Alliteration means repetition of consonant sound within a line. Don't forget it, repetition of consonant sound. Look at here, we reading, the repetition of V sound in the same line. Here, band to bind, B, B, that is a repetition of consonant sound. So the alliteration is the poetic device. Noble nature, some shape, spirits such the sun, sprouting shady boon, simple shape such, cooling, covered, have, heard. All these are examples for alliteration, a repetition of the consonant sound in the same line. Next is assonance. Assonance is the opposite of alliteration. Here we can see the repetition of vowel sound in a line. Look at it. The I sound is repeated thrice in the second line of the poem. Its loveliness increases, it will never. So, assonance is the poetic device used here. Next is metaphor. Metaphor is a kind of simile without using like or as. To compare two different objects or persons with another object. It's a type of figurative language intended to convey a different meaning than the literal denotative meaning of the word or phrases used. That is called a metaphor. Let us check the metaphor used in this poem. The very first line of the poem, a thing of beauty is a joy forever. It is a metaphor. Why it is metaphor? Because here a thing of beauty is said to be joy or happiness. So it is a metaphor. Next metaphor is a boyer quiet. What is a boyer quiet? A thing of beauty is a boyer quiet. Here, the calmness of boyer is compared to the calming effect of a beautiful thing. So, it is a metaphor. The quality of calmness, quietness. Boyer means the shade of a tree. The shade of a tree. The calmness of a boyer is compared to the calming effect of a thing of beauty. So it's a metaphor. Next is wreathing a flowery band. This is also a metaphor. It's a metaphor for life. How? Because the beautiful things bind us to the earth. Here, the beautiful things that bind us to the earth. So, it represents here as a wreathing flowery band. It's a metaphor. Let us check the next. Immortal drink. All the beautiful objects of nature are forever like a never-ending portion of a drink. So this immortal drink is all the beautiful things, especially the lovely tales, are the immortal drink. So here also we can see the literary device of metaphor. Now let us move on to the next literary device. Antithesis. Antithesis means use of opposite words in the same line. That is antithesis. Look at here. Old and young. Trees old and young. Here the opposite words of old versus young is used. So antithesis is the poetic device used here. Anaphora. Repetition of the same word or phrase in the beginning of two consecutive lines. It is called anaphora. Look at the line. Of noble natures, of all the unhealthy and over-darkened ways. So here you can see the repetition of the word of in two consecutive lines. So it is anaphora. Let us move the next. Oxymoron. Words that are contradicting each other, or their ideas are contradictory in nature. One general example: the same, difference. Look at the contradiction here. Same, the difference. So when we use verses like this, contradicting each other in their idea, we call it oxymoron. Look at the example. Grantor of the dooms, the mighty dead. These two lines, the grandeur of the dooms and the mighty dead, are examples for oxymoron. They are contradicting each other. How it is contradicting? Grandeur means the beauty, the beautiful. And dooms here means that is related with the death. So these two ideas, grandeur of the dooms, dooms actually here means the judgment day. The judgment day, the final day, and its grandeur. How does it become grandeur? Because our ancestors did a good number of deeds. Their achievements, their deeds, their great deeds that made these dooms grandeur, great. Grandeur means great and beautiful. So these two opposite meaning words come together. So we can say that it is a oxymoron. Look at the next phrase. Mighty dead. Mighty means powerful. Dead means without any strength at all. So these two words come together. So the poetic device of oxymoron. Why it is mighty dead? Because the heroic deeds of our ancestors will never fade away. They will remain mighty. The people are become the mighty dead. Because what made them mighty dead? Their great deeds, their achievements in their life made them mighty dead. So this opposite and contradictory ideas used in the poem in consecutive words. So we say that it is an example for oxymoron. Let us move on to the next one. Transferred epithet. Transferred epithet means a modifier, usually an adjective, that qualifies a noun other than the person or thing it is actually describing. In other words, the modifier or epithet. Transferred epithet. Epithet here means the modifier that is transferred from the noun it is meant to describe to another noun in the sentence. One example. I had a wonderful day. Look at this epithet or the modifier, adjective. This adjective modifies day. Wonderful day. Day could not be wonderful or bad. But I had a wonderful day. Not the day is wonderful or something like that. So this wonderful epithet is really stands for the person. So it is used in a transferred epithet. Let us check examples from the poem. The gloomy days. Days could not be gloomy or happy. So it is the Gloomy days here simply means the dark history of humans. Look at the next one. Unhealthy, over darkened ways. Ways could not be over darkened or unhealthy. So, here also we can see the use of transferred epithet. Dark spirits. Spirits could not be dark. So, here also the literary device of oxymoron is used. Immortal drink. Drink can't be immortal. So here also we can see the use of oxymoron. Now let us move on to the next poetic device. Inversion. Normal order of words is reversed. That is inversion. Look at this. Are we reading a flowery band? Here the normal word order is reversed. We as a subject we have to use at the beginning and are as a supportive verb, auxiliary verb we have to use after we. We are reading. So the inversion technique is used here. Now let us check the imagery used in the poem. A sensual understanding of things. So many imageries are used in the poem. Look at the first one. A flowery band to bind us to the earth. This is an example for imagery. The beautiful things are said to be a flowery band that makes a connection with humans and the earth. Next, trees old and young sprouting a shady boon. The shady boon providing trees, they are also an imagery. Then daffodils with the green world they live in. This is yet another imagery. The life and growth of daffodils is brought to here as an imagery. Then clear rills that for themselves a cooling cover to make. All the clear rills, the streams that themselves make a cooling cover is another imagery in the poem. Then mid-forest break rich with the sprinkling of fair musk rose blooms. This is yet another imagery used in the poem. All these descriptions together give us a mental picture of the scene. That is an imagery. Then lovely tales that we have heard or read. That is also another imagery. Then the endless fountain of immortal drink. Yet another imagery. So the poem is rich with so many poetic devices. If you understand all these poetic devices, you can enjoy the poem very aptly. So that is the end of this video lesson. For more such class videos, subscribe the channel and press the bell icon. If you like the video, share it with your friends. Thank you for watching till the end.